comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So I fucked up last night. All I needed to do was stay up all night and all day, and I would have been back on the Australian timetable. And I got halfway there. I couldn't fall asleep all night. I was up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock a.m. It got to about 6:45 a.m. and I was lying in bed and I'm like, I've got this. I'll get up shortly. I'll start the day. I'll take the kids to school and I'll just pump myself full of fucking tea until, I don't know, 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And then I'll just crash out and I'll be back in the rhythm. But it didn't work out like that. I got to fucking like 6:45, 7 a.m. and I just couldn't keep my fucking eyes open. If I got up, possibly, but I was lying down and I just could not muster the fucking strength to peel my ass out of fucking bed. So I ended up falling asleep. It was full daylight. My son was in bed with me. My daughter was in the cot next to me. I'm completely out. Next thing I know, I wake up at 1:30. I look over. My son's still out. My daughter's still out. I go back to sleep. My son wakes up at like 2:45 and he said, I'm going to go watch TV. I'm like, do whatever you need to do, son. My daughter wakes up. I pull her out of the cot and I just lie back down. She's wide awake, but she comes and lies down again. Both fall asleep again till 4:30. So I slept from like, I don't know, let's say 7 a.m. till 4:30. And now I've got to try and do the all-nighter again. If I get tired, I'm going to fucking sleep, but I doubt I'm going to get tired. Who wakes up at 4:30 p.m. and then gets tired at 10? Even 1 a.m. Been up 7 hours or something. I could possibly take a little nap in the morning or the afternoon, but once you're asleep, aren't you? I don't know how I can wake up after fucking a 2-hour nap if I haven't slept in 24 hours. At the moment, I'm exactly still on Indian time. 4:30 p.m. in Australia is about 11 a.m. in India, which is about the same time as I was waking up every day in India. So tonight and tomorrow is going to be a bit of a fucking balancing act. It's always fucking jarring coming back from India. Going from Australia to India, it's never real jarring for me. I'm like relaxed. It's like, freedom. But coming back, you're just like, this place has too many fucking rules. It's kind of fucking stuffy. When you see India, like, India has its faults. Let's not fucking pretend India is a perfect place, but India is an example of places being able to operate virtually free of any rules. Any road rules, any like building permit rules. Like if you want to put a new power line in, if you're an unregistered electrician, you don't need to do an electrician's apprenticeship. Just fucking buy some wire. Wrap it around a tree trunk and then connect it to your house. It doesn't seem to fucking matter. Everyone's like, you need to do these fucking long apprenticeships. How about just buy some wire? That's enough to qualify you. There's fucking wires hanging around everywhere in India. It's nice. It's like decoration. I tell you the one thing they need sorted out in India, and it's not the pollution. It's not, it's not the car system. It's nothing like that. It's fucking line etiquette. Like Australia does a real good job with lines. Everyone respects the line. No one really cuts lines. Everyone understands the line etiquette. In India, it's fucking chaos when you're lining up. There's no point. There's no point of lining up at all. You might as well just start bashing fucking old ladies in the head. In India, just because you're the closest to the counter doesn't mean you're the next person to be served. A fucking arm can fly over your shoulder with a fucking fistful of fucking rupees, and that cunt's going to be next. And some fucking old lady will fucking shoot her hand out from under your arm, and then she'll be next, and then you're fuming. The lines are chaos, but they're chaos in other places as well. Egypt was just as bad, possibly worse. But I suppose you got to take the good with the bad, because once you start cleaning up the lines, then you have to apply it everywhere. You have to apply it to traffic. You have to apply it to, like, I don't know, fucking cinema seating. So what do you prefer? You can't have your cake and eat it. You can't have full anarchy and then fucking expect people to respect where you are in line. It's very hard to get used to. Whenever I come back to Australia, I'm never excited. I I did have a pho today, though. That was nice. A good old-fashioned, traditional Australian fucking pho at the Vietnamese restaurant. Pho. How's that? I get back to Australia and the first thing I want to eat is a Vietnamese soup. That's Australian fucking culture for you, baby. Fucking, I could stay here and chat all night because I've got all night, but fucking, let's move it along a little bit, eh? Because it's Monday, first Monday back in Australia for the year, and it's time. It is Ask Boyle time. So if any of you out there have questions that you need answered, if you've got a head scratcher, you need a fucking extra pair of eyes on, then why don't you try and access the greatest mind of the generation, comedian, philosopher, Craney Le Boyle. So if you do want to send a question in, head to my website. It's boylecomedy.com. There's a section there for Ask Boyle. There's also a section there for Drunk Dial if you want to leave your question with your own voice. Get to it, and let's get to this week's Ask Boyle. So this week's Ask Boyle was sent in by my good man fucking Sid Volbeck from that northern hellhole, Canada. They're his words, not mine. I don't shit on a place till I've seen it for myself, and I'm planning to see it this year if they let me in. Anyway, here's Sid's question. Hey Boyle, what is considered an alcoholic? I don't drink throughout the week, but whenever I drink on the weekend, I become a wild man pirate and get absolutely obliterated to the point that I'm getting browned out or blacked out, fucking up relationships, getting myself almost killed or in risky situations. I can't only have a few drinks. Every time I try that, I just end up drinking until I pass the fuck out. For instance, I was sober for 21 days this year and doing good. And then in a moment of weakness, this past Saturday, I had a couple of drinks, which led to about 15, and getting near blackout and fucking things up with a girl I've been talking to. Does this make me an alcoholic? Well, Sid Vicious, you have come to the right place. Here's what I think. Alcoholism is like a spectrum. It's like autism. You got the guys that count trains, and you've got the guys that are like full licking pavement, and you've got everyone in between. It just depends how autistic you are. My grandma used to say you're an alcoholic if 1 is too many and 1,000 is not enough. And that's a pretty good gauge. It sounds like you're in that category, which is the same category I was. I was thinking about it today because I've been getting a few messages lately about people who've cut back on the alcohol and they're still having like a couple of drinks here and there. And I was like, I wish I could have pulled it back a little bit earlier so I could fucking have a couple of drinks here and there. Like it would have been nice to have some drinks in India or meeting up with old friends and that. And then I started thinking about it. I thought about it today. If I started drinking again, the only fucking idea I have in my mind, like if I was to drink again, is to get absolutely fucking annihilated. Like that's my dream. That's my goal. If I was to drink again, I would be drinking as much as I possibly could. So that's a good tell for where I'm at. It's not even in my head to have 1 or 2 drinks, even now. If I slip up, it's not going to be for 1 or 2 drinks. It's going to be for all the drinks in the world I can consume. But there's all sorts of shades of alcoholism. Like my best mate, Shawnee, he was the guy I grew up drinking with. Me and him drinking all the time. His drinking always went under the radar because he was never outlandishly fucking up. I was always loud, boisterous, fucking up, getting arrested, crashing shit, bashing shit, getting into fights, getting face bitten off, arrested. Like, you know what I mean? It was very obvious I had problems. Whereas he fucking held himself together. He would hold himself together unbelievably well. He still does. You won't even know he's fucking drunk. He's just having a chat with you. And then he'll go outside for a cigarette and collapse. Because the dart's too much for him. Because he's fucking had like 3 bottles of whatever the fuck he's drinking. And now, because he's never had those giant fuck-ups, he has a drinking problem that he just can't fucking get on top of. His was far more insidious than mine was because he's every day. He's fucking pounding it back every day and has for years and years and years. Mine was more like high octane, fucking go until you can't go any longer, then recover, and as soon as you're feeling good again, fucking back to it. That's 2 examples of alcoholics. Then you've got like the wine drinkers, bottle of wine every night, couple of bottles of wine every night over long periods of time, finally gets on top of you. You've got the fucking corporates with the long lunches, every fucking lunch, that type of thing, then drinks at dinner and shit like that. Then you've got like the tradie type thing where you don't really drink during the week, but then you get obliterated from like, let's say, Thursday to Sunday or even Friday to Sunday. That's a problem too. So there can be a variety of different types of alcoholism. My fucking opinion is you're an alcoholic if drinking is preventing you from fulfilling your potential. That's how I would look at it. Is the booze stopping me from becoming who I want to become? And that actually encompasses more people than you would think. That makes the spectrum very broad. That was one of the main thoughts in my head when I quit drinking. I'm like, I can't become the person who I'd like to become and continue drinking. I mean, once you give up drinking, you realize that there's other things stopping you from fulfilling your potential, like actual autism and retardation, but at least it's not alcohol anymore. You know what I mean? It sounds like you have the same fucking problem I had. You'd have one drink and you'd turn your willpower off completely. You'd just switch it completely off and it's just foot to the floor until you fucking hit a brick wall. If you're looking for an answer from me, you're an alcoholic. I don't need to define it for you. I can tell. You're not fooling anyone. Just give up the booze, you pussy. I used to be worried that people would think I was a pussy if I stopped drinking. Now I actually think people who don't stop drinking when they should stop drinking are fucking pussies. Stop being a pussy and quit drinking. Anyway, that'll do for today. I hope that fucking helps, Sid. Let me know how you go. That'll do for today. If you're enjoying the podcast, give it a share around and I'll see you the fuck later.